If you've watched me for any extended amount of time, you know I'm a complete sucker for realistic fighting games. And K-1 Grand Prix for the PS1, it totally got me. I'm hooked. This game is a lot like Kickboxing for the PS1. I reviewed that just a week ago or so. It's basically a realistic kickboxing simulation. All the movements, tactics, and physics are just like professional real-life kickboxing. The difference is, this game is even more realistic than Kickboxing for the PS1, because in that game, the actual fighting simulation was spot on, but the graphics were very cartoony. In this game, the character models look like actual people. Not only that, but they actually use real professional fighters in this game. And every huge professional kickboxer in the world you can think of that was fighting before this game was made is in this game. It's ridiculous how many characters there are. There are people who are really great at kicks, people who are really great at combinations, punches, people who have great stamina, and I'm not over-exaggerating how many kickboxers are in this game. I mean, everyone from Ernesto Hoots to Peter Arts to Ray Cepho are in this game, and they fight for the most part just like themselves in real life. You can actually make your own character in this game. Like, you can make whoever you want. I always make myself in these realistic fighting games. You get to customize your character's look a little bit, but then you actually get to build your character from the ground floor. You decide if you're good at kicks, punches, if you have good stamina, if you can do good combinations, and then you fight with the character you created. But of course, the bread and butter of a kickboxing game is the actual kickboxing. How is it? Is it satisfying? Well, both of these things are great. The kickboxing is fantastic. The actual physics and controls are much like kickboxing for the PS1. You basically hold the directional buttons up, down, and back to block and move away. You can press the R1 button to dodge and move away from the cage when your opponent is trying to trap you in the cage. You use the arrow keys and the various action buttons together to do different moves or combinations of different moves, like low kicks, high kicks, spinning fists, kicks to the body, clinches. Anything you can think of in professional kickboxing and Muay Thai is in this game. And I haven't even mentioned the best part of this game, because honestly, all of this would be complex and great, but without this one thing that I'm going to say right now, a fighting game is nothing. It's satisfying to hit and knock people out. It feels so sweet when you connect flush with a really powerful head kick and your opponent just drops like a log. And then the game actually shows you that move in slow motion on the instant replay from different angles. It is so sweet. It is drinking syrup from Kate Beckinsale's belly button sweet. There are some things in this game that aren't very good. For example, your movement can be a tad slow. When you're just basically walking around the ring without double tapping forward or back to make a really fast motion in that direction, it feels like you're a bit of a snail. But honestly, if you've watched professional heavyweight kickboxing, they're pretty slow moving around the ring. I mean, you watch someone like Alistair Overeem kickbox, that dude barely moves from one place. I mean, a big guy like that with huge power, it's all about catching your opponent flush, rather than running around the ring like a lighter weight fighter. The second not so good thing about this game is there are some characters that are just objectively so much better than everyone else. Like if you play as Peter Arts, he will mow through the division. It's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, Peter Arts is an elite kickboxer, but he's not this much better than everyone else. I swear on the medium difficulty, you will have no problem beating anyone with Peter Arts within 30 seconds. The guy hits like a dump truck. When this guy throws a head kick on an opponent, it takes like 30% of the opponent's life if it doesn't knock down the opponent with that one kick. Playing as Peter Arts, I only had problems beating this one guy, but I can't quite put my finger on why.
Peter Arts versus Pan the Man.
There are people who are really good at punches or have really good stamina as well, but if you have really insanely powerful kicks like Peter Arts, it's basically God mode in this game the second you can master the range. Because obviously kicks have way better range than punches just because your legs are a lot longer than your arms. Taking everything into account, K-1 Grand Prix is a great kickboxing simulation for its time. It has some faults, but they're not game-breaking. It is really fun to play and really satisfying to hurt and knock out your opponents. This game gets an official stanburdman rating of an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.